I am an INFJ, and of course I am gonna give myself high marks on this one. But after reading several answers, I think I can honestly say that it's gonna be pretty close between the INFJ and the INFP, with the INFP perhaps squeaking out the win, barely. But of course that's all gonna come down to an individual basis. The question is, which serves for reading people better, judging or perceiving? Judgers by definition seek to be at least somewhat understood by those around them, especially those they come into contact with on a daily basis. Also, they seek to impose their ideals on their surroundings, once again to an extent. So one could make a case that the INFJ's quickness to judge is often accompanied by a simultaneous movement to label and categorize, and this habit might lead to something being glossed over. Now, this labeling of others can be quite a complex exercise for a more seasoned INFJ, given they don't hesitate to allow fresh data to come in with which they can test against their rich inner world. And all this can literally take place in a few seconds for an INF. Furthermore, they would know that whatever labels they assigned would simply serve as a preliminary model that the INFJ can continue to test against the backdrop of their inner world, slightly tweaking as they go. But INFJs are usually very sure of their assessments because, quite frankly, they are right on the money most of the time, and with this, dare I say, cockiness, they may miss something, and once they've latched onto a presumption they can cling to it vociferously indeed, even if they are way off the mark. The perceiver is, on the other hand, a diligent reporter. It's not so important for them to be understood and to impose, which can be a blessing because, let's face it, who can really understand an INF, except for another INF? So does this help the INFP read people better? Perhaps over the long run it does, but could they articulate their thoughts in a coherent and defined manner, or would they even care to? I don't know. I've never met an INFP, but hopefully my bad luck will change eventually, lol. Both types seek to understand right from the beginning, and the deeper, the more meaningful, the more nuanced, the more intransigent the better. That doesn't intimidate us in the slightest. I find that I can even read people I've never met, never heard their voice, and have no idea what they look like, at least partially. How, you ask? Well, if a friend or whoever is describing someone, or telling a story, I can listen to them say two statements about that person, and I can often paint a picture and begin to describe the person's attitudes and behaviors with scary accuracy. It's confirmed by the person who's originally giving me the information. But honestly, it's much more than just reading, judging, labeling, etc. Because that's so dismissive. We first want to get a feel for you, because if you have the potential to be hostile in any way toward those we hold dear, or anyone for that matter, we won't stand for it. If there's one thing that I can't stand, it's a bully, and I am pretty sure most INFJs feel the same way. Now, if you're not a bad actor and we get a more pleasant vibe from you, then this works in your favor if you allow it. Because immediately we're gonna try to, with minimal pressure, help you to ease into your new environment with the goal of nothing less than absolute harmony in the end. We may seem callous at times, but if you ask our help, or even if you don't, we will quite literally do just about anything to make you more comfortable, or even better, to help you learn something you're having trouble with. We even carefully select our words to fit the situation and your learning preferences. Yes, we know. I for one love to break down subjects that may be needlessly complex and/or intimidating for the benefit of others. The more mature I get, the less I try to judge people, instead opting for trying to judge situations. You really never know what someone else has been through. However, just because, say, someone had a rough childhood, that doesn't give one the license to project their insecurities all over the place. Because that's not helping anyone, especially the one doing the projecting. You will meet resistance from an INFJ if that's your mission.